love sweet God magnet. Love turns into time, don't you grab it.
This video is brought to you by T-Blocks. Enjoy the content now, but stay for the shilling later. Welcome to Lobster Magnet and Friends, with just Lobster Magnet this time. Goro these past few weeks has been off trapezing for this sort of like group meetup, so he's very adamant about he must go to these. It's like one of those kind of like insufferable things where it's like, oh, that's a millennial meetup, yeah, let's go do cultural things, let's go to her Korean hot pot and do all these other things, yay! So I've had a much more difficult time dragging him, to come do these reviews. So because it's been so long, I've decided I'm just going to do a few of them myself, which is my fundamentally least favorite thing to do. Because I don't like talking to myself alone. But anyway, that's enough for boring old life status updates. We're here to talk about The Promised Neverland, chapter 78 and 79. Woo, boy. Ugh, wish I could. Someday I'm going to get Zavul and Goro back on the same day, and we can all talk about this action-packed development these past few chapters have been. Because, oh man, just like we predicted, it has been demon slaughter and carnage. We are just seeing these little children, like little adolescent chimps, battle the demons, and it is very entertaining. I enjoyed 78, where Luce gets killed, his little tenants get killed, and I also liked how they built the lore, so there's a little bit more going on in terms of like, oh, the demons have these masks that are next to indestructible, they can't blow them off, but Luce is able to be beaten because, one, he's kind of dumb, and two, they can, kill his assistants by knocking them off, so it felt like there's a little bit more tactics. Yeah, Captain Crunch, you here to join me? You here to join me of this Promised Neverland review? Yeah. You gonna be my partner? Yeah, good boy, Captain Crunch. You're the only one I can depend upon. You're the only real true reliable friend. Yeah, you won't abandon me, Captain Crunch. What did you think of Luce? What did you think of the demons? Do you have any thought, or you just want to? Yeah. Is that what you thought? Or do you just want to eat Q-tips? Is that what you want? Q-tips? Well, anyway, so, Luce goes down pretty easily, as expected, of the guy who's, like, too lazy to, like, actually walk and gets dragged around by his, like, 4 toadies. And then there's a great scene where it's like, where he's like, oh, I smell Lord Bayon. If I can just hold out for the next 5 minutes or 2 minutes, I can be rescued. And then the little manic pixie dream girl says, I'll give you 10 seconds. Just like he did. Oh. So I'm very happy that, because they're not trying to do the like sort of shonen manga friendship thing where they like learn to the demons learn to appreciate and befriend them. They just like flat out murdering them. So that feels very cathartic that the kids are getting their revenge against the demons, but things are going a little too smoothly for the kids and their plans in this terms of that like everything's going as expected. I do like the element that they introduced, like the super rifles, the super like steampunk rifles that look like, Piper's, and they have like some sort of special ammo, and they spent like 8 years, trying to build these rifles to blow off their masks. But so far, they've been going on. Well, they didn't even waste one for Luce. Luce wasn't worth it. They just had to take off his mask and just like shoot him. But for the other demons, the stronger demons, they have to use the super special rifles to blow off their masks. And so far, things are working pretty flawlessly with Noose and Numa, who, the BDSM demons. They're at the point where they could pose a much bigger physical threat than, stupid old Luce, because they're much more physically stronger. My only big problem though is it feels like the kids' plan isn't that well thought out in terms of like, the kids just have like 1 or 2 gimmicks that they do. They what do the kids do? They build traps, or they just shoot Luce because that's all they need to do is just barrage them with bullets. So it feels like in the early series of Promised Neverland, I've been seeing a lot of people complain about this, that like the later chapters don't feel as well plotted or as tightly knit as the first few, where it felt like, oh my god, there's all these great psychological mind games. And I was kind of hoping we'd see something like that with, these most recent little arc. But so far it's been pretty basic bitch. But, obviously the thing that we're waiting to see is if good old, what's his name? Lewis, the supreme bad guy, starts messing shit up. But so far, they held, 2 out of the 5 demons. They still got Noma, although he's not doing so hot. All they have to do is just snipe him. Well, I did love that scene where Noma is got the little girl and she's hanging her up and she's like, oh, I'm gonna hunt you so badly. Wait till you get that. And then she gets shot through by the little kid sniper, and just how brutal it is. And then you have the other demon crying, no. It's very similar to the morality of that scene where Gon, is trapped by the Phantom Troop in Hunter x Hunter, and basically he asks them, how can they live with killing people, and yet they still grieve for their comrades, and the Phantom Troop doesn't really have an answer, but Gon's like, I'm angry because you're a bunch of hypocrites, but the Phantom Trope, their sort of philosophy is like, oh, well, we don't give a shit about people who aren't in the Phantom Trope, we just care about our comrades, but we don't care about all the people we kill, because we're the Phantom Trope. We steal stuff, and people get in our way. So we get a little bit of that in terms of the demons empathizing, crying over his dead sister or lover. We don't really know, and he'll probably get shot. But then, and of course we get the incredible image of Emma being, balls out, brave little child, facing up Lewis and walking right up to him, and him just staring at her. So Lewis, please be good. I hope there's a scene where most of the demons are killed. Something's got to go wrong. Things are going too well for the kids at this point. At some point I think maybe kill Noma, and then Lewis finds out and he teams up with Lord Bayon, and then it's just 2 of them kind of kicking ass, killing children, because shit needs to go wrong. They need to destroy one of the guns, or one of the guns needs to misfire. So some bad crap has to happen. I like the fact that they introduced the special guns with the special ammo, because it adds an element of suspense, since we know how many shots there are. So obviously at some point they're gonna fire one at Lewis and he's gonna avoid it, or maybe Lord Bayon shot's gonna miss. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I think these both chapters have been solid 8s, but I still want to feel there's a really clever thing. Those traps still felt basic. Oh, they're knives and other crap that's coming at us from these. It felt like little Ewok traps. It didn't really, and it was just to get them into position so they could shoot them, and that felt still kind of basic. It didn't feel oh snap, I didn't see that coming, which is what old Promised Neverland gave us. The series is still good, and this is great to see this balls to the wall action sequence, and I also like seeing the demons without their masks and get an idea of what the sort of physiology they share with each other is. But I also want the series to continue to move on and progress and get more iconography. And I also want the demons to win. I want a more fair fight. I don't want the kids to just be able to steamroll them. That would be really, really boring. So the demons need to, start messing shit up. I want to see Lewis. It also begs the question, these demons are all really rich. And so assuming they have staffs of demons, if they're all dead, it's what if Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and the CEO of Twitter all went out to hunt lions, and then they all got killed. That news would be pretty big and would filter out pretty quickly. So feels once these rich demons are dead, that it's not long before the giraffe demons get sent out to hunt them down or something. But we'll have to wait and see. So, but yeah, good solid chapters of Promised Neverland. Hopefully, we'll do a triple review, and then we can argue and see what the other folks think about it, these recent developments. I really want to know what their thoughts are, see if they're pro or negative of Promised Neverland. But thank you for hanging around and listening to this solo review and being patient. And remember, lobster's antennas, don't you grab it. Do you like clothes but hate shopping? Then T-Blocks is the subscription service for you. But I know what you're thinking. But Lobster, how is that any different than Loot Crate or the other subscription services? Well, T-Block sends you t-shirts, which is clothing, which is actually useful, unlike the useless swag junk that Loot Crate keeps peddling on gullible schmucks. And this isn't just knockoff brand crap. T-Blocks hooks you up with licensed shirts for all the stuff you love, because you need clothes. How else are you going to keep your puny human man flesh protected from the elements? T-shirts are useful for any occasion. Wear them, give them to friends, give them to enemies, knit them together, make a quilt. T-shirts are life. And you know the best part? It'll only cost you $6.99. That's right, you can get 12 shirts sent to you for once a month for only $6.99. And you know what? If ultra cheap licensed goods are too basic for you, then there's also the Community T-Block set, which features original designs from the best up-and-coming artists, so you can keep that hipster street cred. But I'm here to save you even more money! Use the code LOBSTERTBX at checkout, and you'll save 10% on any order. Be a t-shirt wearing god amongst mortals. Use the power of the most expensive seafood to get you the cheapest t-shirts now!